Town of Urbana work session this January 22nd, 2026. Let's have a call to order. Mr. Tuning. Here. Alana Courtney.
Here.
Bill Goldsmith is here. Mary Hanson
Is here.
Robbie Wilson.
Here.
Having a quorum, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right.
There it is.
All right. Does anybody have anything to say about the agenda? And do I have a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
I move
Do
to
I have
accept the agenda as presented.
Do I have a second on that?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, let's go to public comment one. Nobody signed up for one? Okay. I thought Ms. Anzavino was picking up the sheet and bringing it up here to show off that she's moving better. All right. Nobody on that. Let's move to the work session matters.
Evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council, ladies and gentlemen. You remember from the last meeting, we kind of did an overview of the 2025 priorities. And this is what we have resulting from the 2026 effort. So Christine's going to pull that up for you. All right, there we go. Okay, you're going to the next one. Okay, so your total same kind of methodology as last year. I took your inputs. Whatever you ranked number one as your number one concern got 5 points. Whatever you ranked as as your fifth concern got 1 point, and it just kind of tallied down. So you can see, looking at total scores, that middle column there, the bridge to the marina ranked out at number one. Water system renovations ranked out at number two. And the priority tally gives you, how many people put it down as 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then you've got the total people that commented on that one on the right-hand side. But just focus on the total scores. 2410, complete the town office move 7, fund and develop council chamber space 5. And then, thanks a lot, you made it complicated. We had several that tied at 4. Okay. If you were looking for a tiebreaker, you could say, well, 2 people as opposed to 1 person responded that addressing the pool revenue shortfalls, so that's one way to kind of measure what you have. So they're your top 8. All right. Next slide, please. And this is in your agenda packet. So the next slide, this is everything else that came in. Again, total based on total score, 3 2s and 1s, and how many mentions it got.
That's not what it says in here. It says, well, there's one thing that, because we've been working on it, the personnel policy and code update. Got 3, but you've got personnel policy finish and the application of it. So that was a total of 4 also, when you combined those.
Are you going back to the first sheet?
No, what she's saying is that
combined.
3 from the bottom.
Yeah.
And 2 from the top.
Oh.
On this, you could put those.
Well, you did.
Yeah, well,
They did.
Yeah,
You did.
You'll see that. Yeah, you'll see that later.
Okay, so
You'll see that later.
far. Okay,
Right.
I'm
You'll see that later. Okay. Some people expressed an item as tomato, some expressed as tomato. So you'll see where I've kind of done some combining and some clustering. If you want to go to the next one. So this is exactly what I did. I did a little bit of clustering. I basically took the same inputs, and you'll see that if you do that, the bridge still comes out as number 1. Water issues still come out as number 2, but what I did was I brought anything that had to do with water up under there. So water system renovation, which was a 10, got added with the public safety fire suppression, which is a water issue, and the well pump house repairs. So that's how that kind of moved up. But generally, water is still your number 2 priority. Same thing with the town office. Some people put in, let's complete the town office move. Some people said funding chambers. This kind of wraps everything having to do with the new town office. Then expansion of boundary lines, along with the address shortfall of pool revenues and the funding for marina upgrade, they all came at number, they were all ranked out as 4s. So you could say there's 4, 5, and 6. And then all personnel matters, to kind of round it out. That was that other 4, was to bring in complete the policies and finish the application. So that's how the 3 and the 1 kind of became so your top 8 has now become a top 7 if you cluster it.
Right.
Okay. And then the next screen has your other items that were factored in. You see some items got pulled up because it was topical to a group. All right. So your next slide, please. Next.
Ask a question.
Right. Anytime.
You go back
Uh-huh.
2 slides.
2 slides.
What was the expansion of town boundary lines? I mean, everything else I can guess.
That
That one,
that's
I don't know what that was about.
that's like another boundary line adjustment.
To accomplish what and where, or is it just, hey, let's,
Increase the
Base-
tax base.
yeah, okay.
Basically,
Purpose of increasing the tax base.
but also to capture those areas that we're already serving with
I see.
water
Okay.
outside of town.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. No. Any questions anytime. Okay, let's go back to the individual list. All right, there we go. So there's your top 5. Priority number 1 is the bridge repair or replacement. This is sort of a little bit of a breakdown of the project. Okay, trying to figure out a temporary crossing solution, a long-term solution, and funding for those 2 items. If I may, sidebar for a moment, Ms. Austin's not here. Trying to get community support for one of the funding requests. We need letters of community support. We've gotten letters from the county. We've gotten letters from Main Street. I'm expecting one from the Business Association. This is one for you all. Here you go.
Okay.
This is one from the council, and I'm asking each member to sign it.
Is this a required part of some of these funding applications?
It's not required, but it's helpful.
It's helpful?
It's helpful.
And
Yep.
encouraged.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
That results, this is kind of the follow-up to my meeting with Representative Whitman's staff. Okay. All right, if you sign on top of your name. So the next one is maintenance improvements on the water system. That's the distribution lines, the well house, which you all approved the contract for those repairs at your last meeting. All of that being done in consideration of fire suppression. That's probably tied more to the lines and the well house. And of course, funding. And then we have number 3, the town office, complete the move. And I think you all have seen, we've put notices out to the public that we're pretty much going to be shut down Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to accommodate the move. Monday was supposed to be IT day. Breezeline has already asked if they could move the schedule up and come in on Saturday. We've made those arrangements to accommodate them. So the weather's not going to cooperate with us, but we're going to, push forward as best we can. Provide council chambers. Quite frankly, between the bridge and the move, that's kind of slipped on my back burner. I have been in contact with an architect. I probably just need to sit down with him, take a trip down to Virginia Beach and have a meeting. And of course, funding. Personnel policy, the next one, you're going to hear a little bit more about that tonight. But I'll just skip over that because you can see where it says. And again, you're going to hear more about that tonight. And then I went ahead and took the liberty to make number 5 the increase the pool revenues because that's one of those that tied at 4, but 2 people put input into it. So that's kind of where I came up with that one. Last year, the top 5 actually ended up being 10. So obviously you can add or delete as you care to. This is basically just a rundown of what the numbers look like. Other priorities, these are some of the other priorities. These are the remainder ones that were top 4s, top 3s. A CMP is a capital maintenance program that's taking care of what you already have compared to a capital improvements plan. To give you an example, a capital improvement would be something like a slide at the pool. Capital maintenance is taking care of the well house and in your lines.
And the bridge.
And in the bridge, yeah, in the bridge. And that is the presentation. There, it's basically your thoughts now as to what you want to do. You can scrap anything I've given you and come up with something different, or it's theirs for you to reject, accept, or amend. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take any questions.
The height of buildings on the waterfront, is that a zoning issue?
That's a zoning issue. Yep.
And that's one of the things that I think it was Beth and
Yeah.
Buddy Weicker have.
Oh, yes. I know.
Yeah.
So, I-
Well, I inquire about that. It's tied to some other zoning action that needs to be done or something.
What,
We're gonna lump it together? or-
well, it would be nice to lump, if we're going to do 2 amendments, it'd be nice to run 2 amendments at the same time, only to save money for advertising and notice.
Yeah.
Because uh, the 2 amendments have more town-wide impact than like just what you're used to seeing is like one parcel asking to do something. We just notify the adjacents.
Do it.
Yeah, I've got a concept on how to move forward with the height issue. But I think the other one was the short-term rental. What were no, I'm not the short-term, the additional dwelling unit. What were the criteria that you wanted to impose around a short-term rental? I mean, an ADU, yeah.
Is that issue coming up again in this,
I don't have any applications or anything like that.
no,
but-
not in town, but at the state legislature, because they were trying to do something where they were taking it out of our hands, right?
I'm sure it probably is. Yeah, I can do a search and see if it's what's popping in the General Assembly.
And if we were to restrict it, the state law would supersede what we said, correct?
Correct.
Mhm. So perhaps we should wait and see what gets docketed for consideration this
Well, it's
session.
farther down on the list, so.
Yeah.
I would see the
if we want
agenda.
to.
I mean, they're working on everything
Yeah,
now.
right.
So
Right.
see if there's anything on it, right?
That'd be
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, I just have to go into the site and just do a search for additional, some catchphrase and it'll pop up whatever legislation there might be.
One of my thoughts is that we would do well to start having some blend of kind of planning, forward-looking planning priorities. Because otherwise, all we're ever doing is chasing disasters. We chase this thing that we don't like, somebody built something and oh, now we're hair on fire. That we've got a bridge that we should have been concerned about maintenance for the last 15 years. And instead of doing anything proactively to either save for the eventuality or repair for longevity, we wait until there's a disaster. So, I mean, and our hands are tied. We kind of have to do something about that. That's a huge lump of money, though. I would be more inclined to say, put off constructing a council chambers, deal with something.
Oh, yeah.
Deal with, because we have to deal with that, at least in my view. We have to deal with that, but let's not make all of our priorities the hair on fire priorities.
I can tell you my personal thoughts. I've been here a year now. and it has been one disaster after another. So my top priority was the town office. That was a huge
Yeah.
fire. We
Did it.
put it out. We're not done. Let's get it done.
Yeah,
And the staff has done an amazing amount of work and they're almost there. So
yes.
that one to me is,
That
this
was
is just
mine.
Robbie's opinion. Priority one, it's almost finished.
Yep.
We got priority four, personnel policy. You guys have been working on this. This one's almost done. This fortunately was never on fire. So that's good.
Well,
Then there's the Marina Bridge, which has come up and is a huge issue, but the real disaster there is gone in the fact that it's closed. So now we don't have to worry about it collapsing on somebody.
true.
Now, I don't see a quick and easy fix to it.
No, and just to remind everybody, we knew it was a problem and because it it was exacerbated during one of those king tides just before Oyster Festival. We hired an engineering firm to come look at it and they said, this needs to be
Because
closed.
it's better to know
And so
that.
it was, so we managed to dodge a bullet there.
So we know the devil we're dealing with there. The
Right.
water system now could be a big problem. If we lose water pressure in this town and we turn into the next Richmond, which was over a year ago for them,
Yeah.
that's a big problem. This pipe separation thing that we just approved to get fixed, that was a close call if there ever was one. And now I'm hearing there could be concern about other issues in the well house. And I say we need to go ahead, whether we want to know what the problem is or not, we need to know what the problem is.
Right.
We do.
So if there's a problem there, we need to figure it out and start at the well house because that is the core of the system. And then we work our way out through the distribution lines as we get things under control.
Right.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on all of this and I'm now done. So.
Yep.
I think we're in agreement.
All right, can you give me a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
What, you want Robbie's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
So just to
Okay.
get something.
So
What you
my,
just said, I
my 1, 2, 3 is priority.
three of us are in agreement with what you just said.
Priority one is finish the office move that you guys have, you're at the 10-yard line, almost done. The personnel policy, thankfully, that was never a huge burning fire, at least from what I understand, that's almost done. So that's a field goal, right? You just got to kick that in.
It's moving forward. That's
Moving forward,
not-
right?
It's done.
Okay, well, we'll back it up.
But we're in the
Get
red
that
zone.
50 yard.
Let's say we're in the red zone. We're in the
Yeah.
red zone.
The Marina Bridge, huge mess, but nobody's going to get hurt by it. Everybody's going to be fussing as soon as the weather gets nice and we can't launch our boats, including myself. It affects me.
Right.
Not a problem. The water system is one of our, if we didn't have the revenue off the water system, our town taxes would be higher and we would all smell and be screaming. So that to me is
Yep.
probably priority number 2 behind finishing the town hall move.
All right, so worse, okay, so office move is 1.
Yeah.
Water systems 2.
Personal policy kind of goes with the town. Well,
But we've all given him our priorities,
right.
Yeah.
right?
But I'm looking for a group
yeah.
group
Yeah, y'all
consensus.
Okay.
this is me voicing my opinion, so y'all can
Right.
agree that we start arguing.
Well, yeah, Bridges got to move up.
No, I don't disagree with it. The office move we're doing it, right?
Right.
We're doing it, yeah.
You can make it number 1, number 2, number 3. It's gonna happen real soon.
Yeah, it's gonna happen whether we prioritize it or not. It's almost done.
Well, right.
And we just gotta be proactive and try and do something about that bridge.
And the staff can claim success on number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
But there-
Down the roads.
There are parts of those like that. I don't think that we should invest money at this time in building a council chambers.
Oh, yeah.
We have a good alternative. We have some huge financial surprises. Yes, that would be great further down the road. That's the example to me.
Yeah.
It kind of, we need to start looking ahead on some things. I think there are parts of the water system problem that once we have a good analysis of what needs to be done can be staged as well. And so that's when I'm saying, let's not focus solely on the fires. Let's start looking toward what we can, phase and plan for, because I think that's more,
Yeah,
that's
I would
more
like to see
sustainable.
things completed. It's very frustrating to be
It
on here
is,
and
isn't it?
be kicking these cans down the road.
Yes.
I think something else we also need to consider is Payne's Crab House, because I hear rumblings of talking to attorneys down there.
Yeah.
And I don't, has anyone talked to John
I emailed Don this week.
What does he say about the
See you in
plan?
March.
He said what?
See you in March.
I know his wife just had a baby. But they are,
Who is Dawn and why?
Don
is-
Georgette, who's the Northern Neck Native Plant.
Oh, yes,
company.
yes, yes.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he did that. But I think the people down there at the condos and Latney are talking seriously about doing something. So I think that we need to, there's no reason that we can't figure that out. It's not rocket science.
Right.
Right, right. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
There's another fire then.
I think
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's a smolder,
that's a-
yeah.
That property
The next-
has been like the cats where every so often it becomes an
Yeah.
issue.
It's been used by a lot of those folks that you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
Down there.
been used positively for their profits,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And we have been,
Think of that.
I think, very lenient in allowing them to come and go.
Yeah.
So I don't really get it, but I mean, I think something needs to be done down there.
Yeah.
Right.
But I
And-
don't
and
know
that-
why
and that's-
I mean, you know how I feel. I felt like we should have sold it, but
Yeah, I don't know why anybody would
I
be-
just see certain things, like I think we should sell the marina. But that's just my opinion. I just don't see how the town can sustain that. What is required down there. I mean, we've got some major expenses.
Right. But we also want to preserve the public access.
We do, but we do have public access. We have the Tabor Park, we have Waterman's Park, we have the
Not the
marina.
water.
Well, that,
Public access. to
but
the
you were
water.
talking about selling.
They don't have any, they can't go on that property.
We're-
Kane's
Well,
No, I was talking about the marina.
Oh, the marina.
Yeah.
did that
Yeah.
grant that we took, the big grant, come with any obligations to maintain that property?
To
Any
maintain
amount of
the
time? 'Cause I
property.
know like the FAA, when they give you money for your airport, you have 25 years, you got to keep it open
Right.
when you took that money. Do we have that sort of
Are you talking
obligation?
The big,
Yes.
the marina.
At the
Yeah.
marina,
Talking about
yes,
the
we
marina.
have an obligation to maintain it for transient,
For how many?
for,
you know,
I don't know what.
Well,
the-
not just the big grant, but the grant that you all used to buy it and fix it up.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
that's
It
also,
was like a 10-year.
and it's more than 10, it's like 2035.
Okay, so we can't sell the marina. We can scratch that idea
Yeah.
because we're under grant
and
obligation. It's gonna
That
cost
was,
us.
it was because of those obligations and the fact that without a bridge, we can't use it,
Yeah, I get that.
that Ted reached out to the Public Access Authority, to the, MPPDC and to the big grant people to say, yeah, you don't usually do bridges, but if we don't have this bridge, we can't have transient boaters and we're already on the hook for transient boaters. So how about a little help here? And that went nowhere, correct?
Question.
But they said the big grant said that they're, they don't cover bridges. They don't cover bridges.
The bridge is still there, right?
Bridge is still there.
It is still there. Can you walk across it?
You can
Yeah.
walk across it, yeah,
So why can't we have transient boaters? There's just no vehicular traffic.
because the boat ramp is also considered public access. And you can't get across, you can't get to the boat ramp.
But I guess I should have thought of small watercraft and launching at the boat ramp as part of the transient. But I think like the big grant, I think really focuses on the marina and the slips and transient occupancy of the slips. I don't think it focuses
The-
on the boat ramp.
The problem with the use of the marina is emergency vehicle access and getting the propane truck in there. So they got hot water at the bathrooms.
True.
And
Okay.
there's probably some other things that are, even the ice.
Yeah, true.
So
Well, West Point town council members came down here about 10 years after the MITS thing came up to see the MITS thing, because they did something similar in West Point. And when we walked into that marina and they looked at that and said, "Did you all buy this?" I said, "Yeah, we own it." All we got is a 30-foot strip at the end, all the way, where the two rivers come together. That's all the public access they have to walk.
Mhm.
And I mean, they were amazed by it. And you go to, Leonardtown,
Mhm.
Cape Charles, Chrisfield,
Mhm.
there's public access similar to what we have. And from an economic development standpoint, it's amazing. We need to keep that money.
Okay.
Yeah, raise taxes. Over my dead body. What,
You
my
don't have
dead
that many,
body?
you've proffered up your body for multiple deaths, so it just. All right,
So what are we needing now?
Well, maybe it's me. Office, and I think where Mr. Wilson's going is, quick successes. The office move
Yeah, we've started the project.
and the personnel
We're getting
policy.
there.
Okay.
Check that off quickly.
So then, water system bridge, 3-4, 4-3,
You know, they're sort of separate.
they are,
And
that's, yeah.
The water pays for itself. And we should be, I guess, finding ways to. The money comes from water. Whereas the marina is gonna have to come from somewhere else. Taxpayers or something. So I don't think that. I mean, I don't know, from a priority standpoint, it's tit for tat. I mean, water is more important than anything else. I mean, quality water, providing community with water, drinking water is the most important thing we do, probably.
Well, I won't drink the water.
All right, so I've got office move, personnel policy, 2 quick hits, water system 3, bridge 4. I mean,
I
We
think
c- we-
you
we-
did
it doesn't
not
have to be
list it
5.
as second. But
Uh,
did you list it as second? I didn't think so.
I didn't.
I certainly didn't.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I don't think the personnel policy merits second priority. We have struggled along with this for such a long time, and I'd like to think that we can get it done, but I don't know how quickly it's gonna get done.
Right.
And
Everything else.
Fortunately, it's not
No,
costing
no,
us
it's gonna
any
be-
great expense, correct?
That's correct.
not yet,
So that's a win.
not yet, although we have had issues that we've had to make decisions around related to the policy being ancient that have fiscal impact.
and the issues are caused by discrepancies
Yes. Yes.
that need to be cleared up.
Yep.
Well, discrepancies in just age of the policy.
Right.
Right.
All right.
Dad, you
I'm
look. Damn.
just-
I think you're good.
Yeah,
We're good, okay.
And I think for the sake of simplicity, that we, leave the list as presented because the things are moving. We have the top 5 in the proper spot in
Yeah,
terms of what we're
Go back-
doing,
back
and
a
they're not
couple.
gonna go.
So we talk about the clustered list, which is bridge, water. And and folks don't think that we're just okay, all we're going to do is focus on the bridge and then we move to the water.
Right.
It's a juggling act,
Yeah, that's my point is
yeah.
we've got the top priorities, the top 5 or 6 things are not gonna be completed in the order.
No,
Ordinance.
no, I agree.
And so I think we can go with the list as presented and
This
deal
this
with
list
them as
here,
we can.
Yeah,
this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's simple enough.
so too.
And just,
Mhm.
The only thing I'd say is on priority 2 on the water system is that we move well house to the top of that within that, right?
We
we're-
can do
we're
that.
Doing well house work. Let's finish investigating what the well house needs. If the well house needs more work, to know so we can budget it for next year.
right.
I think it's. a
The
question of-
distribution lines is a huge undertaking that's been kicked around for since,
30 years.
forever.
I think it's not just repairs at the pump house either. It's an analysis of repairs versus replacement and other things.
Well, I mean, the contract we signed was basically to replace the piping in there so
Yeah.
I-
that it's all new inside to get
So-
rid of what would otherwise be an ongoing issue.
All right, so we'll move the well pump house repairs up under to the top of all water, then maybe be a little bit more descriptive. Water system distribution lines renovation
Yes.
in consideration of public safety fire
If
suppression.
you really want to prioritize it, from what I've heard, and I could be wrong, you'll correct me, is that we need to, on the distribution lines, not look at replacing the whole system at once. Let's focus on doing incremental upgrades and start with the backbone lines. So we start at the source, we fix the well house, then we move to the next big lines, and we just keep working our way as we find money, which has never really happened,
Yeah, that's,
until we get the whole system done. And this could be a 30-year project.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right, right.
But
'Cause you gotta
that's how
start,
we have
some-
to
you
tackle
gotta
it.
start somewhere.
one little
Yeah.
bite at a time.
Then you create a schedule, what was it?
This, capital management.
Capital management programs. So that
Yes.
you have it scheduled so that we don't end up where we are now, where we're having to face a lot of things at once because you're able to predict them to some extent
Right.
over time.
So you're setting aside a little money to be
Right.
used this year, but you're setting aside a little money to be used maybe 5 years later.
It would be
Right.
really great for next year, and I should take this on myself since I'm saying it, is to have, this are the phases we need to do on the water system. This is what realistically we think for a timeline. And let's make this a long-term plan. And it could be, like I said, it could be 30 years. I don't know. But
Mhm.
we need to figure that out. And a lot of work has been done in the past on this. This isn't something new that's
Right.
coming out of nowhere.
True.
and in that list, unless we can get EDA of our backs, or DEQ rather, we need to start planning for another well in 8 years.
Yeah, that's a big
Ooh, that's
Big
right.
thinking
That's right.
block on that.
That is.
7 years now.
I think it is 7 years.
I think it's 7,
Yeah.
yeah. The clock's ticking. Okay. All right, so we're going with that with a little rearrangement in the items underneath. Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Sure.
Action items. First one is we've got the January 8th, 2020 minutes. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I so moved.
That was second.
Second.
Discussion? Mary's coming up.
No discussion. We're just gonna move on.
Discussion? All right, all in favor?
I-
Aye. Any opposed? All right,
I'm sorry, who was the second?
second was
Alon.
Alana. Okay, personnel policy review.
All right. So the town's personnel policy is over 30 years old and has only undergone one amendment in that time. And we think, based on some conversations today, that amendment was literally done at the night the policy was adopted. But unfortunately, there are some versions of the policy out there that didn't capture the amendment. And there are some that it's hadn't written in. So it's a little disorganized. Now the former administrator, Gailey, drafted an update that was not acted upon. In-house staff changes delayed movement, but the most former clerk and current administrator moved the document with some revision to the town's attorney, and she's going to present a portion of it at this time and lay out a plan for further revision, but using a completely different base document. So this alters the staff recommendation to just consider the material presented this evening. As far as council actions requested, it's not at this time because you're seeing the material for the first time. And so I would withdraw the sample motions as we're not seeking any action tonight. It's basically just information and feedback from you all. And with that, I want to turn it over to the town attorney.
Good evening. I'm excited to present this tonight. Maybe I'm a nerd.
I was gonna say,
Desperate for fun.
that's a
Yeah.
wow.
Next slide, please. So as Ted mentioned, the current policy is from 93. A lot's changed since then. And what are you doing? So I've identified
Gunner.
some goals and I just, I kind of wanted to share them to make sure we're all on the same page, because if these aren't your goals, then I need to know. And that is to review the policy manual, to do it in bite-sized pieces rather than in one massive document. And to structure it so that, if there's a change in the federal or state law, we can just drop that part out, update it, and then we don't have to leave it for another 30 years for somebody else to update. And we can distribute that to staff. Next slide. The other goals are, and this is really maybe the most important, is to get input from current employees. What are our practices? What works? What doesn't work? What would be optimal for them? And of course, from the members of town council. And then to produce a policy manual that meets legal requirements, is tailored for what the town needs to operate, and is supported by the employees and town council. Okay. Next slide. Yes, there will be a chapter 1. You'll notice you have chapter 2. There is a chapter 1. Mayor was very upset that there was no chapter 1. And I
What's the
did
focus of chapter 1.
I don't remember. What I did was I am picking the meatiest portions that I think need to be done first, places where maybe the law has changed the most. Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. And also, I am Versa, which is your insurance carrier. They used to be under VML. They will review personnel policy manuals for localities. And I am using that sort of as a guide with some changes and tweaks, since that is what they are recommending. So I have put headings in italics where you can change it if you want. So what you can and can't change if you don't like it. And then if it's in that gray shading, just probably skip over that for now, because it means that the staff is still working on it. It's mostly benefits. And Ted told me that Michelle knew it all. Thank for that. So no pressure. Next slide, please. All right. So I have pulled out a couple of things that I think are going to be maybe the most areas where you might want to give it some thought. And the first one is a probationary period. And that is a period where an employee does not accrue full due process rights, mainly meaning that they are not allowed to utilize the grievance process. The reason that the probationary period is important is, number one, to allow time for the employee to kind of get to know the position and decide if it's right for them. And then also for supervisory staff to make sure that the employee is progressing and is able to fulfill the functions as well. Some people say that a probationary employee is well, you can just fire them for anything. That's technically true. I don't approach it that way, because, if you terminate somebody's employment, there's usually a reason. And if there's a reason, it ought to be documented and previously addressed with the employee. Employees may not be able to bring a wrongful termination case, but they could be able to pursue federal protected rights, discrimination, things like that. So I always recommend, I treat probationary employees and employees the same. At least that is my recommendation for those reasons, because I also kind of believe in fair workplace policies. I think that's fair to treat people that way. Next slide, please. Oh, nope, go back. So in this new policy, I have recommended or inserted a 12-month probationary period. There's no law on
It
what.
says six,
It says 6 in here.
It said 12 in mine.
a line 138.
What page?
The pages aren't numbered.
I changed it to
But line
12.
138. I think it was 2 years
No.
at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just
That is so weird.
really long.
Oh, okay. So I didn't change it under the definition. I did change it later on in the document. So
Okay.
I'll need to revise that.
What is the standard?
There is, I would
What's the most
say
common, I guess?
12 to 9, I would say. 6 is not unusual,
12 is pretty customary.
I tell you, I just got off of 12 at work.
right?
Yeah.
Plus the 2 years of being part-time. I'm like,
Yeah.
I finally went full-time and I said, try to fire me now. See what I'm gonna do tomorrow when you call me. 3 years of probation.
Huh?
But it is, and if it helps, I can give you the personnel manual from work. It's a state agency, so.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same. It's versa.
Yeah. They're available online. If you want me to, I can also look at that for other tweaks, but so that's something that's discretionary. I put 12 months in. If you don't like 12, tell me what you do want. And
Talk to us about the impact of that, of completion of that period, because in some policies, in our old policy, certain benefits convey with that or don't convey. So for instance, you may not be able to invest in the retirement system until you are no longer probationary. You may not be able to withdraw from the retirement.
no, that's not it. They can do that
And
upon
if
employment.
Of vacation time is often
It-
an issue as well, or
My recommendation.
and overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I have done in this document is, you start accruing everything upon employment
Which I think is fair,
and
but
normal.
that's not what a lot of the
Customary.
policies are.
I didn't mean to say
so,
normal.
Right, but
Yeah,
am I right in thinking that those things are also discretionary I mean, there's gonna be some
I don't-
guidelines.
I don't think the VRS is.
Okay, so and that.
I mean,
and-
the annual leave, yes, but
but that should be in our policy though, so that we don't have, so that we treat all employees the same way when it comes to,
the only,
those
the
things.
only difference in a probationary and non-probationary employee is, the way that I see it, is access to the grievance procedure.
okay,
Everything else really should be the same, but
I think so
Yeah,
too, but I.
you could adjust annual leave if you wanted.
The point that I was making was that the probationary period, at least my interpretation is that that's a separate issue from when you're vested in things and That's gonna
Right.
that's gonna be set by VRS.
Retirement is going to be set by VRS, but the other things,
Right, but
which, the accrual and the ability to use
Correct.
vacation time that is accrued has historically been linked to probationary status. And
okay,
I agree with, Andrea. I don't think it should be. I think that person is working just like everybody else.
Well, and people on probationary status do get sick like
Yeah,
everybody else.
yeah, exactly. And then if they don't have any.
And we don't
form
want
of
them
leave
coming to work
access
sick.
For that, they
Right.
either come to work sick because that's their only option,
Mhm.
or it makes it harder for them to work well for us.
so I think we're in agreement that during the probationary period, those things should be available.
The only other difference is access to FMLA. And
Yes.
that's because under the federal law, they
That's
have,
controlled by federal law.
yeah, it's a different requirement. But let me talk for a minute about a grievance procedure. The reason that that is something to consider is that if you have an employee who leaves and wants to grieve the termination, it's a lot of work in a very short period of time. And it's not the work that is the problem, it's that we have such a limited staff. You're going to shut down your operations for a 2-week or more period. And
Why?
because like Ted will be focused on the grievance. That's
Okay.
all he's really going to be doing. You're going to be down an employee because somebody's been terminated.
Right.
And so that puts a tremendous strain. And then you don't know how long your grievance hearing is going to go. Minimum that I've done, it's usually half a day. Most of the time, it's a whole day. It involves witnesses coming before your panel, and it's a whole thing, is my point. And again, I believe that I believe in treating employees fairly, setting expectations clearly, explaining if performance falls short, why it has fallen short. I don't think that the grievance process is a great thing in the first place. And so whether they accrue grievance rights or not, I mean, since I don't think it's a great thing, certainly avoiding that process is beneficial.
Well, and that's in the federal sector. You don't have grievance rights.
Mhm.
In a probationary, if you're in probationary status.
Yeah.
You do to other federal, like discrimination allegations and those kinds of things, those kinds of protections, but not grievance
Right.
as a probationary employee. And I don't think you do in the state either.
All I know, and I'm very good.
They have grievance rights.
You.
I
do
summarize things in my head, but
Okay.
my understanding
As a
of a
probation.
probationary period is that
No.
somebody's,
That's what I'm talking about is during the probation.
Oh, no, they
period.
don't.
basically somebody's easy to fire during probation. You don't have to go through the full-blown procedure. And to me,
That is not how I view it.
well, to me, it's like, all right, somebody comes to work for the first month or two, and I've been a supervisor, and they do great, and then they just start falling off because this job's not for them. And
Mhm.
to me, it's important as a supervisor to be able to, not unfairly, but be able to get somebody out the door that's just, this is not working out.
Yeah.
You know,
And that is, and if you have
without stepping on their rights.
if you have this at work, I would encourage you to document the problems because, like I said, probationary prevents you from having a grievance or potentially a wrongful termination,
Right.
right? It doesn't protect you against what could be federal causes of action.
Right.
And if you terminate somebody and you don't tell them why, which they all reasonably want to know why, then they think, well, it's because I'm a woman, or it's because I'm pregnant, or it's because I'm Muslim, or it's because I'm old, or, and then that's where you get the EEOC process involved, they get a right to sue letter, and, you know, you've got a bigger problem. And that's advice for you in your job too. Really, it's good advice. Should write it down.
You should, right?
Thank you, Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wanted to kind of explain the complexities of it. And I don't want you to think that with a 12-month period of time, the idea is, we can really kick them to the curb, because that is not the practice that I recommend at all.
But you
Right,
can't,
Ted?
but you can't. And we forget that there are sometimes other business-based reasons, which is what you are supposed to operate on. You have a business-based reason
Mm-hmm.
for removing the employee that is non-discriminatory,
Correct.
business-based,
Performance-based.
business-based, but it can also, business-based can be performance-based. It can also be, we lost a grant. We don't have any money to pay that person.
Well,
It can be all kinds of things, which is,
And
That's
Yeah.
kind of a reduction in force, though. It's a funding issue.
it could be,
Yeah.
it could be. But again, there are lots of reasons, I think, to have that.
And that's usually when you hire somebody on it, where really in the interview process.
Yeah.
You let them know this is a grant funded position and there's
that's
no
true. That
guarantee
was
that you'll
probably
get
not a good
funded next
example.
year and.
Usually be classified as temporary because however it's funded annually
Let's
or.
say it's not grant funded, though. Let's say that you know how tight our budget is.
That's just a reduction in force.
Yeah.
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 Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So think about that and let me know what you think. And next slide, please. Comp time, overtime. Oh, sticky wicket. All right. We have two kinds of employees, exempt and non-exempt. Exempt employees, there are criteria that the federal government has set out to see if an employee qualifies to be an exempt. It's usually a salary requirement, and then it's related to the job responsibilities. For non-exempt employees, if they work more than 40 hours in a week, they are entitled to overtime. That's what the law says. Now, they may agree to accept compensatory time at time and a half. But as the law is written, they're really entitled to overtime. Next slide. What's in this employee is that for an exempt employee that they would get, which is not required. There's no comp time required at all for exempt employees. That it would be hour for hour up to 140-hour maximum with no payout at the end of employment. The equation to think of there is that you don't get paid out for the comp time, but if you use your comp time instead of annual leave or sick leave, if there's a payout for that, then there is still a cost attached. And auditors do look at that as a liability on your balance sheet.
I think our current policy says 1.5 hours.
It does. For non-exempt employees, they have the option to elect which they want. If they want the comp time, what I'm suggesting is that they use it within 6 months or that we automatically pay them the overtime, and that is to keep from accruing a liability. 6 months may be a little bit generous. Am I killing you? You're just dying. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know, you can tell
Yeah,
me.
you're killing them.
Are you leaving too? Christy? Anybody else want to leave?
Anybody that's not leaving need a toothpick for their eyelids?
Oh, I think you do a good job.
She says as she zips up her jacket. s- 6 months is a stretch. I mean, the law says within a reasonable period of time. So, we could make that number lower if you want, but I wouldn't make it longer than 6 months. And again, because, if you have 2 employees leave at the same time and they have a whole bunch accrued, then that's a lot of money.
It's a surprise
Yeah,
payout.
that
It's a
is,
big check.
that
Yeah.
is a big check.
And when you budget, I don't know how Ted does this, but this should be kept in some kind of like
Reserve.
a reserve fund for these types of things to be paid out.
So you're suggesting that you allow people to build up comp time, but any comp time they haven't taken within us, is that
For
is
non-exempt,
that a rolling
no.
number?
Well,
I- I-
100 and if you want to continue comp time for exempt employees, the way I've structured it is a 140-hour maximum rolling, no payout, right?
Okay.
Which is
So
the way it
this
is.
month I use 6 hours. Next month I use 10 hours. That's
Right.
what you're calling rolling. So at the first six hours that I'm using, it's 6 months from, or 6 months from that. The next month, the 10 hours I'm using, the clock is beginning again and it's 6 months from that.
No, you're talking,
I'm talking about exempt.
Yes.
right.
They can have 140 hours if they accrue more than 140.
No, I was talking about the non-exempt.
The non-exempt.
The use and the 6 months was what I was referring to.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
The 6 months.
Okay.
So, again, on the exempt employees, though, what I want you to think about is that there is still kind of a payout in that, you're going to be paying out for leave.
Yeah.
So,
This is government stuff, so it doesn't deal with private sector, does it?
Oh,
Yes.
wow,
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So are they an exemption because of size, numbers? I mean, are our employees the same as state employees and federal employees that have 50 and 100 and 1,000 employees and we have 5?
right. Comp time and overtime is a federal law that applies to everybody.
And so let's go
So they get
over.
by by being on salaries, right? If you're on salary, you don't have to worry about it.
No, there's like 4 separate tests and salary is one of the elements. Yeah.
How big a change is this from what's currently being done?
Currently, it's for exempt employees, it's time and a half
Mhm.
up to 140-hour maximum with no payout.
So it's the
So you're gonna,
multiplier,
so we're gonna cut these people by halftime with this new policy.
unless we decide that we want it to stay at.
I mean, you can make it time and a half.
We can make it.
Giving comp time is very generous. That's not, I would say, the custom everywhere. And
What
it
is
was
not
in-
the custom?
Pardon?
What is not the custom?
To give
comp
exempt
time.
employees comp time.
Okay.
Yeah, that is not customary. That's a real benefit. And non-exempt employees, the way that we're doing it now, I think doesn't quite conform to the law. So I've tightened that up a bit.
So going with exempt. You get out 6 months and there's 140 hours there. You're saying it just goes away?
Non-exempt.
You're mixing exempt and non-exempt.
Yes, I
The
do
6
that
month.
commonly and I
Yeah.
have difficulty with that.
For and the reason is that comp time is only supposed to be you're supposed to pay overtime.
Right.
Okay, period. But you can do comp time in exchange for overtime if the employee can use it within a reasonable period of time. If they can't use it, you need to pay it out.
Okay.
Because otherwise it gets to be a really big potential liability.
Right.
No, and I get that, but that says there's no payout. Oh, it's separation of employment,
For exempt.
for example. Yes, I was just reading that slide right there.
Yeah. And so right now, I think there's a cap for non-exempt employees. I can't remember. I think there might be 104 and you should have been given the option of overtime. It should not be left to accrue, both because it's a liability for the locality, but also it's not quite what the law says.
So are you suggesting that comp time be limited and we just automatically pay overtime with a small buffer of comp time?
Well, I think that it should be at the, at the option of the employee. A lot of times people don't want to pay more taxes. They prefer to have the time flexibility. That's great. We just have to kind of set a limit on, okay, when do we have to, let's pick a time, could be 3 months, where we're going to say, all right, if you haven't used it in 3 months, we're going to pay you.
I'm used to with non-exempt employees, it being more like within X number of pay periods, they have to use it.
But yeah,
Not to jump around, is the 140 hours coming from some sort of federal law for the exempt employees?
no. Under federal law, exempt employees are not entitled to any comp time. This is all just completely discretionary, whether you want to give it, how much you want to give it, what the accrual cap is. I think 140 hours is like a month.
Well, are exempt employees part-time employees? Why?
Those are typically your salary employees, right?
There
Well,
are
it's salary.
definitions, that start
It's-
on line 115 and to the bottom of that page. If that helps to look at what the definition of an exempt and non-exempt, et cetera.
Exempt is not just salaried. That's one of the prongs of the 4 tests that they have. But yes, you can have a part-time exempt employee, depending on that number of hours they work.
Need a class on labor law. All I know that
Give you
I
one.
have a beef with exempt because I used to work a 65 to 80 hour a week job and they're like, oh, you can have comp time. Well, there was so much work, you could never take the comp
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And
And I was a very hardworking employee and I felt like I got boned the whole time by it. It's my own personal.
Well. but
That's my,
that-
so that's my concern with this slide is
We have a
that
soapbox.
I
over there?
feel like I don't want to
I
hurt
can
our
give you the
hardest working
podium.
employees, right? We don't
We don't.
want to hurt them. They work
No.
what they have to work to get their jobs done. And when you work here at this small an organization, you work because this is not a place where you
You're
hide.
working more than 40 hours generally.
So
well, and
So
that
getting off my soapbox.
no, that's okay. That's another thing though that Ted and I have talked about is, it may be really beneficial to incentivize working more than 40 hours for exempt employees, because otherwise you'd have to hire a
Another-
part-time employee.
Right.
Right.
But truly, if the person never gets to use their comp time and you don't pay them out, you're not giving them anything.
No.
Just
So-
hate, which I carry to this day.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Six years later.
That's what you get.
Still angry.
quite clearly.
Release the anger.
So when you're talking about on the non-exempt, where at a certain time period, you're gonna pay them out. Let's say I work 6 hours of overtime this month and the period was like 3 months.
Mhm.
And does that overtime get tracked? So
Mhm.
that specific overtime is what gets paid out?
Yes.
Okay. So that sounds like it's a little bit of a bookkeeping nightmare.
Hmm.
We punch a clock here?
No. I
Well,
don't think so.
They have timesheets.
Yeah.
Time sheet?
I mean, that's my concern is increasing.
There are programs though that
Yeah.
will do that.
Yeah.
They do.
I don't know if we have it, but
Something breaks down here, but normally you're talking a whole lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
We're here at an evening meeting and we have 3 personnel who are probably on comp time. Or 2, not Ted. Ted is part-time. We have 2 personnel who are routinely on comp time for meetings. For this meeting, for public hearings, for the various committees, all of that. So they have a fair amount of additional hours that are built into their jobs. Yeah, well, yeah, but they do the work.
next slide, please.
Gotta get the work done and they do it.
So I have included in here references to a sick leave bank. That's where people can donate a day of their sick leave a year, and you have a sick leave bank. And then if somebody gets sick and they meet the criteria, you know, if they have cancer or something, then they can draw from the sick leave bank. We do not have that now. It's not required. But I think it might be a good thing if we have, you know, the ability to do it.
Where is it?
Are you able to carry your sick time from year to year up to
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour maximum? That's, I don't have.
Can you carry your vacation time from year to year?
Mhm.
Is there a cap though?
It's toward the end. I don't think so. Is there a cap?
Now, with a
There is
sick
something.
bank, are those sick leave hours given within the organization?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to
Yeah,
clarify.
like,
It's a leave
Like if-
donation program.
So does it, if I can ask, does it have to be a bank where somebody says, okay, I want to give, a day every, or 2 days every year?
no, it's a
Or-
standard amount that everybody gives. You either choose to participate annually or not.
Okay.
But it's a
The
choice.
the systems that I was familiar with was typically, it was as the situation arose.
Dropping like flies.
Nobody left during my presentation, but anyway,
I'm still recovering from not being a priority.
so.
Well, I don't know why we need that.
The system that have been in is as the situation arose, it was sort of a blanket HR memo. There's somebody in need.
Yeah.
Would you like to contribute? And you didn't know who you were contributing to. Well, sometimes you did, sometimes, but it wasn't a bank. It was basically, I gave time
It was a
to
Program.
this person.
So yeah, I
I
don't
transfer. time.
I don't know. I've always seen it as like you donate and it's like a standard thing, but maybe there's more than one way to do it. I don't know. That part I
I've
don't
seen
know.
it the way Ted described too.
All right, next slide, please. I want to know your thoughts. I really do appreciate it. This is, this is really your baby with input from staff. Again, the idea is not for it to be some heavy-handed thing where, council hands it down to staff, but for staff also to have input and to make suggestions and say what we normally do, what does and doesn't work. I really like doing it in these bite-sized things so you can really think about the issues as you see from the discussion, we had this evening.
Right.
I think it takes a lot of thought. And
Based on this discussion, I'm glad that the whole personnel policy was not presented.
because you'd be here till midnight. I know Robbie wishes it was the whole thing.
Yeah, I need to do some homework.
But
He needs to go
If-
home, have a beer and
Andrea,
settle down from.
I have a
Yeah.
question, and now I'm
Anger-
trying to think of,
Anger came back.
line 1546, paid time off plan, hybrid employees only. What is a hybrid employee? I
That-
don't see that defined earlier.
that is a new category that has been established by the state. And I think it was VRS that established it. Like if you're a new employee these days, you are automatically a hybrid employee.
The
And
VRS retirement system?
Yeah.
Hybrid, yeah.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think that's tied to the retirement system as to when you came in, they call it the.
Oh, now that I
Oh,
can see.
oh,
System
so
But
it-
this
it's-
is regarding paid time
it,
off.
for some reason, they go together.
Hybrid in terms of the
Really?
retirement.
Yeah.
plan.
So paid
Yeah.
time off
Yeah.
also.
They
goes
call it
to-
PTO. There's no more,
Yeah,
like in the modern world with the young people, there's no more sick leave and annual leave.
right, it's paid time off.
Right.
So a hybrid employee is when they're in hybrid retirement plan status.
I got pulled in another conversation.
Hybrid, I'm still trying to grapple with how is a hybrid employee defined? Michelle?
In the VRS system,
old timers.
Who were under a particular plan contract, yes.
In a
Pension,
for a
right?
pension plan, and their plan.
They
was
were a
based on-
defined benefit plan,
But by their high,
Yeah.
their three highest quarters, yada, yada.
right? And then you'd get
So-
some formula, yeah.
So then they closed that plan to new hires,
Mhm.
and now they call it the hybrid. So the hybrid, I'll get into the weeds if you want me to.
Sure.
We're talking about benefits. Now you have three pots. You have your VRS, which is a mandatory 4%, which the employee pays.
Yes,
Town does contribute none.
right.
Then you have your.
How do you feel about that, Michelle? I could hear it in her voice.
401 plan, which is mandatory 1%. And the town must match that
Okay.
1%.
And you can voluntarily,
That's
do
the
more than that.
457 plan. So the 457 plan, you can do nothing up to 4%.
okay,
And if you max it out at 4%, you're done. But the town, would match it in steps. So if you do a 0.5%, the town does 0.5%. If you do 1%, it's 1%. You go to 3%, well, the town is only matching 1.5%. And if I max it out at 4%, the town is only paying 2.5%.
Okay.
So the bulk of the VRS really is not paid by the town. Per employee, your maximum out of pocket is about 3.5% per employee.
And-
But
and
along
it
with
sounds
the
like
hybrid,
maximum-
that's when
Yeah.
the PTO came down. That is
so
somehow,
are all of those plans considered hybrid plans, all three of those, Michelle?
You're in all three.
Red category, because the old plan is not on.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is take it or leave it.
Okay, and so any employee that we have would be considered a hybrid employee?
not necessarily. Like if
Tell me why
you,
not?
like if, well, because I worked for the Stafford County School Board back in the day. I worked for Hanover County back in the day. So I'm vested under the old plan. I would not be hybrid anywhere I go.
Right, but if you were working in a system now,
I would be under
You
the
would
old
be-
system.
you would still be under the old system. You would not.
'Cause
be
I
a
vested.
hybrid.
Hmm.
Which is 5 years, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a state thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a state
that is
thing,
And-
but it
okay.
comes to us.
And the maximum exposure to the town is 3.5%.
2.5 plus the 1, but the town, because this is the way it was set up prior to me, the town does pay our death benefit, which is my new.
Yeah.
So,
Through VRS,
Okay.
that is through VRS.
so to use an example of what you described, Ted would not be eligible for paid time off for PTO? Because he's,
different because he's retired.
you're not retired.
I'm retired.
You are retired?
Yeah.
So-
I'm
So
retired.
you're an
So that's why
reemployed
I'm working part.
annuitant.
Right.
Because I'm working part.
Because
Okay.
he has to.
Okay, 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 got it, Now I get it.
I'm retired from, out of the state system.
Of
If
their,
a
of their.
million
Yeah,
dollars
new
earnings, of their
employees do
earnings.
get
Of their
PTO.
earnings,
They don't
okay.
get, like when my daughter worked at DEQ, she got PTO.
But she would be hybrid, yeah.
Yeah,
So
she
if
was
Ted
hybrid.
was not retired, he was
Yeah.
still working, but he was under,
He'd be under the old.
he'd be under the old plan, he
Yes.
would not be subject
Any
to
of
this
this.
PTO. Okay, okay.
If I were to leave
Wow.
here and go work back into another locality or a state agency, because I haven't cashed out,
Oh, got it,
Retirement?
right,
they would put me back into the system under the old plan. Yeah. Yeah, and I would,
that's interesting.
that would change my calculation because
Yeah, it would.
it's based on the 3 highest years and, so now my calculation changes.
Right. Michelle?
The only other thing I want to say.
Oh, thank you.
0.5%, that's not on your salary, that's on what you are investing.
Right. It's
Right,
on
no, I
your
understand,
contribution.
but the amount, the percent is based on your salary, right?
Well, it's,
Yes.
If you make $100 and in
Yeah.
that last system, if you hold out $4, the town matches $2.50.
if you're 2.5%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
$100,
Sorry.
$100, yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
okay.
I want you to know is that if you have immediate feedback and we can get it on for the first meeting in February, that's great. Y'all can vote on it then. If you don't feel like you're ready, that's great too. We'll just keep working on it. I mean, I want you to feel like,
You understand
you're
what's
the
going
one
on.
that's driving the bus.
I need to take.
I've already
that
proclaimed
home.
that you're done, so.
Done.
Yeah. I know.
No, I proclaimed it earlier. You're done. You
Yeah.
finished the whole thing.
We managed to cover one of our priorities at our first meeting.
Put a fork in it. I'm done.
Okay. Moving on, Mr. Costin, the Middlesex Volunteer Fire Department agreement.
This is a final comment. I won't bring up the fact that, again, that people left during her presentation and not mine. But we really do need the feedback if we're going to keep this moving.
Right.
So if you want to send me an email, or send it to Andrea, what we really need the feedback to know, okay, what are we going to fill in these blanks with? Okay. All right. The next, and I think last item other than citizen comment is, the Middlesex Volunteer Fire Department. We have an agreement proposed with them. As the new town offices do not accommodate a space for council chambers at present, an alternative site needed to be identified. Such a site had to be accessible to all members of the public. The Middlesex Volunteer Fire Department event hall was quickly identified. The chief indicated membership supported use of the facility by the town, provided a contribution to be made to offset associated costs, electricity, heating, by paying $100 per meeting. Okay, I misspoke last month. I said monthly, and then I corrected myself. The paper only picked up my misspeak. It's $100 per meeting. Now, this is going to be a per meeting of town council, planning commission, BZA, historic art, whoever we have to have a public meeting, is going to be $100 a meeting. The attached agreement drafted by the town's attorney states the commitments, use requirements. That verbal agreement had been reached. This just kind of documents that verbal agreement. The fiscal impact is $100 a meeting. The staff recommendation is to approve the agreement as presented, and this evening would be the council's requested action, and you have a sample motion. I will tell you, we went over the other day, kind of got a layout on it. That's going to be available to us. We're going to take that over to the fire department, set it aside. We've offered if they want to use it, they're welcome to use it. Christine can give them the tutorial. But it's going to be a very workable space. It's going to be tables. You're sitting behind the table. We'll have the stand here, and then they have it set up for an ongoing classroom. So the audience will be sitting in chairs at tables. Yes, yeah. And we think we can get this positioned so that you won't need that camera. Just operate everything off of this. It's a large room. It's going to have some echo. So it's going to be critical that people speak, one at a time. And depending on where that's set, if somebody were sitting right there and they were whispering to their neighbor, it's going to be picked up. Okay. So, I wasn't pointing at Mr. Mayo. I was just pointing at the chair. Okay. But anyway, that's the situation. It looks like a really good situation. And they've been very, very cooperative and helpful and friendly with us. I will tell you that the county, I don't know who, but I'm getting this from Chief Pugh. The county scheduled Tuesday nights and Thursday nights for firefighter 1 classes without consulting the chief. And he told them, I've already made a commitment to the town. So you got to find some other place to go on Thursday nights. I think that's something we should recognize and let him know how much we appreciate. Yeah.
The other thing to realize is, to some extent, we can double up meetings on days. Like, for instance, if instead of having two separate public hearings for two different zoning matters, we can
Oh,
schedule them for
Right.
one hearing.
I think we did that one time before where it's like you had a joint hearing, you all recessed, planning commission did their business, and then you all did your business. Yeah.
Some of that we can potentially do, I think, to reduce the
Right.
number
The
of
the
meetings.
fiscal
we need to
impact, I
have
figure, is
paid
probably gonna
for.
be somewhere around $3,000 a year.
So I mean, it
Yeah.
could be $400 or $500 a month.
Yeah.
If you have a very busy month,
Give them 10,000.
if you have a busy month.
But
you have
can we
a-
just consider it a donation? I mean, they're helping us
Well,
out.
yeah.
But
We're-
I mean, that could
it's-
be really expensive with a whole lot of meetings.
It
taking
could, but think
place.
of what
But if-
we're
if-
talking about to,
Right, if you look at the
Yeah.
number of meetings we've had, the impact is gonna be what would be 1 month's rent in this place.
And the other thing is, look who you're helping.
yeah, that's what I'm
Right,
trying to say.
exactly.
You're talking,
And it's
say if you do,
basically staying in the
if
town.
you did 5 meetings a month, that's $7,000 a year. I mean, that's
That's-
compared to what it's gonna take to
They can't buy water. hose.
another solution. To me, it's,
Chief Steve's comment was, he really did really want to charge us, but the heating bill over there is astronomical. And the cooling bill. So that is just basically what they will be out of pocket by having us
Building.
going in and out.
Right.
Heating up that room, et cetera. So it's really reasonable what he's asking for because of the out-of-pocket expense they will have by us, is the way it was.
I'm
presented.
guessing that room, that heating and air conditioning, that room is probably the least of their expense in terms of their overall. I can see that their heating and air conditioning would be huge with those big bays that they have trucks in. So I'm not sure, but yeah, it's probably our best alternative.
I'm just saying, if we do this, we can strike priority 3C off
Off.
earlier presentation until hopefully we don't wear out our welcome.
We don't often have 3 and 4 meetings a month, do we?
Well, if,
Some of the committees, because
Yeah.
if you're not on a committee, you don't.
well, the committees,
committees-
the committees we can accommodate at the new office. Okay. This is for like the planning commission, which is 5 people in
Anything
public hearing.
But the public.
The-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
we
public,
expect
yeah, the public,
It's not gonna be that bad. It's
Yeah.
probably gonna be
Yeah.
maybe
mean,
3 a month.
the BZA in the time I've been here, the BZA's met twice.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
in the entire
And-
time I've been on council.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it-
probably
And-
that many
and
for,
I can only think of probably 3 meetings of committee meetings where we've had somebody from the public actually show up
Mhm.
for that meeting, and it was.
and we were able to do it in this conference room right here.
sometimes
Yeah.
Welcome, but, not
And
by
I
me,
didn't do
but,
that.
but sometimes unwelcome. But it was able to be accommodated in the space with that conference hall in here, and then and the new place is bigger.
It's bigger than
Yeah.
that, yeah.
But we'll be able to lock our equipment up or whatever we need. We
Yeah.
can have what we
Yep.
need over there, and it's not a
Mhm.
huge staff drain to haul the
This-
stuff back and forth.
We're gonna have the movers move this week
This-
into the fire department.
It is.
But we don't have to take chairs or anything else like that.
What's that?
You know, we'll
Feel
tote
better.
what we need for purposes of
Right.
meeting.
So you guys are happy with it?
Well, you know,
It's a lot.
where else are we
Hey,
gonna
you-
go?
you know this place.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
understand.
it's a
I'm
great
just making
space.
Sure, it seems like a good deal. and-
Yeah.
Price is right. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so.
There's any action required, right? Or do we?
There
not?
is.
Oh, if
Yeah.
we do, there is.
you guys,
To adopt the agreement with the Middlesex Volunteer Fire Department for the purpose of using their event hall as meeting space for the Urbana Town Council and other entities of the town for public meetings until a more permanent facility is constructed.
I'll second it. Since Beth's saying
I
that,
have a second.
I'll second it.
All right. Any further discussion? Is this a voice vote or a
Roll call.
roll? Okay. Mr. Tuning,
yes.
Ms. Courtney,
Yes.
I say yes. Mary Hanson,
Yes,
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
All right.
I will note, I should have noted, when you all, based on the verbal agreement, when you all adopted your meeting schedule for the year, we identified that being the meeting location after February 1. So that's already been taken care of.
Okay.
That's great.
Public comment too. Anybody up there? Okay.
You guys sat through all that for nothing. You don't say anything
And any,
Billy?
after all of that?
Yeah, I could say so.
You're gonna let us, you're gonna let us go home?
Come on.
You're gonna let us go home?
William Mayo, 320 Rappahannock Avenue. Y'all would like me to get up here, but years ago, the town had a lawsuit against them. And it was down by the hill, y'all talking about the height of buildings.
Mhm.
It was established then how high they could go up with that building. Cause that was one of the reasons why the guy turned it down. They had 7 things to do down there. They didn't do it. They came to the meeting one day, they had 4 lawyers sitting over there. And I said, y'all had 7 things, and I named them off. I forgot them now. I said, now, what y'all gonna do? Next town council, they had 1 lawyer sitting there, the rest of them quit. So I think a height's already been established on the height.
the height is there. The request has been made that it be reduced by, what was it, about 8 feet or something? What was it?
Down to max out at 25.
Maxed out at 25 and I think it's set at 35 now.
Yeah, it was.
35 now.
Yeah.
Does it also address, because I remember through the filter of an imperfect memory, that lawsuit, there was a height limit, but then there was nothing about the land buildup. So they came in and put a couple of feet, we're putting a couple of feet of land
Oh.
in that
Oh.
parking lot,
I'm-
which was
Before
shooting.
my time, that
Is
would,
there-
That was.
but that would,
even-
that
So
would.
it was making
change-
it even
yeah.
higher. Is there anything in our in the plan that
It,
says,
it basically says it's ground elevation. So if someone were to alter the ground
and,
elevation,
and bring the ground
then they could-
elevation up?
then
We
they could
should
bring it
do
up.
something
Very
about
quick.
that.
That ordinance, I think we need to look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any announcements?
I'm dying to know who you are.
My name is Eric.
Eric?
Eric, yeah.
Eric, hi, Eric. Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
What is your interest
It-
in a
it-
meeting?
yeah, I think.
Oh, no.
No.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay,
I-
okay.
That was a request. There's announcements and requests.
Yeah.
And she was,
This is announcements.
I got your back.
Cute.
Okay. No closed meeting
I'll
tonight.
tell them who you are later.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Thank you. Stay for your presentation.